We were absolutely thrilled with the reaction to season one of the Zip Code plays. We had no idea whether this would kind of go over or not, or whether people would find them, but we were really blown away, and it answered a lot of questions that things we had been thinking about, but we're surprised and happy to find because we offer them for free on our website or on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get podcasts. People can listen to these uh, if they have geographical issues about coming to our theater, they're far away, or whether they have transportation issues, work issues, scheduling, childcare, or whether they're people who just don't feel that the theater was ever an embracing place for them, as well as financial barriers that keep people theater can be expensive. So this was able to reach out to lots and lots of people who were not regular attendees of our theater or maybe any theater. So we were blown away. We have had now, I think we're up to near on 60,000 listens to the podcast, and that's more than can fit in our theater in a year. So it's been really thrilling to reach out to people who both who are fans of Antaeus, but also new fans, whether they live out of state or wherever they may be. We actually had listens to from I think all the continents except except Antarctica, but we're working on it. Hi, I'm Bill Brocktrip. I'm the artistic director at Antaeus Theatre Company, and please watch this video if you want more information about the Zip Code plays or anything else going on at Antaeus. So season two of the Zip Code plays, we wanted to continue looking at a variety of parts of LA County, different geographical areas, and we wanted to look at different styles. So first up, we have 90069 West Hollywood, where we have a very funny story, Brunch Interrupted by Sean Abley, which is looks at issues of colonization and gentrification in West Hollywood. And I'm, of course, partial to that one because I get to play a role in it. I actually have an acting part. So I enjoyed that one very much, and the awesome co-stars that we have on that. So we open the season with West Hollywood. Next, we have 90026 Echo Park, $10 in a Tambourine, which looks at the early days of Los Angeles with Amy Semple McPherson and Mr. Mulholland, who built up this city in their own individual ways, and it takes a look at the challenges that she faced as a woman in Echo Park, building up Los Angeles when it was really just starting out. It's a great play, and that is written by Mildred Inez Lewis. Then we have 90303 Inglewood, The Vig by Paula Sismar, which I love this story too. It takes place in the last days of the Hollywood Park racetrack, and it's in a bit of an old-fashioned story. What I love about it is it sort of tells that the story of people who come to Los Angeles searching for a dream, which is a lot of us. Often you see that kind of in a showbiz context, some young person off the bus from wherever they come from looking for Los Angeles to answer their dreams. And in this case, it takes place in a different setting, but ask those same questions about chasing dreams as a young person coming here, and how do you make it in this world of Los Angeles. Then we have 91331 Pacoima, Golden Shine, and that's by Kari Wyatt, who wrote our South Central episode in season one. He's back. This is it's our first ghost story. It's a kind of a haunting tale of a professor who's haunted by the past and looking to move forward in the future. It's a little spooky and a little resonant about the times we live in and where we're going. It's an awesome story. Then we have 91601 North Hollywood, End of the Line. North Hollywood is where NTS used to be. That's where our former home was. That is Pepper Chambers' play. And that has a very interesting structure. It's kind of in two parts. The first is a bit of a comedy about a woman who wants to start her own detective agency. And things take a more serious turn in the second half when she witnesses something that actually is a problem, an ongoing kind of crime that's happening. And she witnesses that and then has to deal with the consequences. And then we finish out the season with 91754 Monterey Park, Bingo Bitches by Elizabeth Wong, which It's very. I love this play too. I love them all. I mean, I'm a big fan of all of them. This is a story of some older women at a bingo hall at their local community center in Monterey Park, and it really asks questions about whose place is this? Whose land is this? It's about taking one's own space and owning one's own space, but set in a very funny uh, bingo hall. And those are the plays of to make up season two. So season three, we are very excited to finally have a play in our very own hometown of Glendale. This is set in 91201 Glendale, The Six Pianos of Miradero, and that is written by Alex Goldberg, who wrote our Pacific Palisades show last in season one. So he has returned for us to open up this season in Glendale, our hometown. And this is a little history play about Mr. Brand, who Brand Avenue is named after. Our theater is just around the corner from Brand Avenue on Broadway. This is the story about his wife, his will, and his legacy in Glendale. The Six Pianos of Miradero. Then we go to 91505 Burbank for True Sound by Steve Apostolina. Steve is a writer and actor, but he also makes his living working in post-production voiceovers, doing looping and walla groups, and he knows that world of post-production very well. And this play is set in a Burbank soundstage late at night, where an apprentice and a master of the art of post-production sound meet, and things get a little dicey. That's called True Sound. Then we will go to 90262 Linwood, Blue Like You, written by Ann Noble, which is a story of a mother and daughter coming together after a very long time being apart. And it is a very funny, touching, gentle play about the importance of names and what we call ourselves and who we are. And that is Blue Like You. Then we are going to 90027 Griffith Park, where Pepper Chambers, who wrote our North Hollywood play in season two, is back with The Fire in Between, which tells the story of a couple ambitious young men and Griffith Park and an incident that happened in 1933, a true story that takes place in the park, which is we're very lucky to have a huge urban wilderness in the middle of Los Angeles, and that's Griffith Park. Then we will go to 90039 Frogtown for Anaxarus Boreas, which is a story about a gentrifying neighborhood and some a bit of a biblical plague happens there as new residents to the community are faced with some unexpected neighbors. I should say, Frogtown is written by Daniel Hirsch. And then Diana Burbano brings us 90028 Hollywood, Marie Dressler, Good Gal. A look at the early days of the film industry in Hollywood, where which brought so many of us to town to pursue that film and television world. And Diana Burbano looks at Marie Dressler, a character actress from the beginning of Hollywood, and her sort of struggles and triumphs, and how she makes it in this early days of the silver screen, which we thought was an appropriate way to wrap up season three. So we created some additional programming around the Zip Code plays, and that's the Zip Code Play Tours. What we decided to do was choose landmarks, historical highlights, architectural gems, points of interest in each one of the zip codes, and make an audio tour of them. And these are tours that you can do virtually, digitally. You can follow them along, or you can actually go to the zip code and drive around and look at these. We have great actors from within our company narrating the tours. So much like when you go to a museum and there's an audio tour that you listen to as you go around the museum, these audio tours will bring you throughout the zip code, each individual zip code, and you'll learn about the sites and of that spot. And they're really interesting. I've gone and done them all, so as a test case, and there are parts of Los Angeles that I don't know and I was not aware of at all. And so the chance to drive around them and get to know those places has been a real treat. And whether you live on the west side or the east side or wherever you are, there's probably a part of town you don't know so well. So Pacific Palisades was a place I had really didn't know very well. And Pacoima is another place I did not know very well. So we go all around Los Angeles, and it's a chance to get to know these places. When we first released them, it was right during a lockdown that had come up. So we were recommending to everyone that they do them virtually and give them a listen, and you can see pictures and listen to the explanations of the places. But I think now, people are careful and take caution. They should be able to go around and do these in person as well. And we also were able to hook up with individual independently owned businesses in each of the zip codes. So, there are stops for coffee or snacks along the way. So we recommend that you give those places a try and get to know the neighborhoods. It's a good way to get to know Los Angeles. And, also it's been interesting now that we have quite a few of them to see how much, one architect who worked in this neighborhood turns out did something over here, and turns out they did something else over here. So there are a lot of connections that start to happen if you take advantage of the entire program. And those are the zip code play tours. I think the thing I want people to take away from the entire zip code play project is um, a sense of what Los Angeles is and who we are and what this city is about. It's a big, sprawling, unwieldy city. We know that. It takes hours to drive across from one end to the other. And it can be a place that is isolating in some ways. You don't run into people necessarily in the same way you do on the streets of New York or something. And But when we put all these pieces together, and you hear now we have 18 zip code plays, when you hear them in their entirety, you start to really get a sense of how this city is as a whole, and all the unique pieces that make it up. And as a theater that wants to serve our community here, I think it's really important that we get to know Los Angeles better, and I think this will help people get to know Los Angeles better. Yeah, I really want to keep these zip code plays going. Season 1, 2, and 3 have been. I just am super proud of them. I mean, because uh, I don't know how to say it. They make me thrilled when I hear the sort of rough drafts of them that Jeff Gardner sends me. I just sort of beam with pride because these are things that existed only as an idea, and now they exist as something that everyone can hear and listen to. So I want to keep going. I feel like we have a lot more zip codes to look at, a lot more parts of Los Angeles, and then who knows? We could spread out. We could do California. We can do different places across the country. I think this format really, really can speak to the sense of place that sometimes is difficult to reach. I think people need to hear them because, well, for one, the talent and the caliber of the writing and the casts are incredible. I don't think anybody will be disappointed. I think anyone who listens to one will want to hear another. They're a maximum a half hour long, so it's a nice bite-sized piece for your walk or for your cleaning the kitchen or the garage, folding the laundry. It's a perfect way to spend a little time immersed in another world, and yeah, there's no reason not to, and they're free. In some ways, it's hard to say why theater is so important to the structure of a community when there obviously medical issues and that there are severe problems in the world, right now, and maybe always. But I don't think we can put art aside and just say it's not worth anything. I think that artists change the culture. They change the topic of conversation. They move the meter on where people are in the world. I don't know. Everyone has their own opinion about what art can do and the power of art. make social change, to speak out about important topics. My personal experience has shown me, or what interests me, I guess, is telling true stories, shining a light on voices that we have not heard, looking at issues from all sides and allowing audiences to take what they will. I don't. I don't. I'm not as big a fan of preaching to the audience as I am to presenting stories about people's humanity, different characters' humanity, whether those things are, not are good, bad, or indifferent. To talk about the complexities of the human character, of humanity, and letting people draw their own conclusions from that. I know that art has affected my life in every way. I think that is true for a lot of young people coming up. I think it's true for older people who are asking questions about what's life mean. And probably anybody who's asking questions about what does life mean. Art is there to shine a light on that, and to delve into those difficult questions. And I wouldn't want to live in a society where that was not important. So we, while there are all kinds of causes out there that need help, I think supporting art is a very noble and exciting and challenging way to spend one's time. Well, there are always ways for people to get involved at Antaeus, whether they are subscribers, donors, audience members. We are always looking to invite you to get involved. I think Antaeus is a real community. I think it's a place where people come together and feel like it's their artistic home. We're small enough that there's an intimacy, but large enough that there's some structure to what we're doing, and a big enough tent that everyone is welcome. So I would encourage people to get involved by listening to the Zip Code plays, by checking out the website, antaeus.org. Come and see what we're doing. When we're back in person, for sure, come and see what we're doing. There's always a place to be a part of this, and I hope that we are able to create a bigger and more embracing home for everybody, whether they are in the audience, whether they are working behind the scenes, whether they're working front of house, whatever they're doing. This is a place where like-minded people come together. And somebody said that a theater should be like a town square where we all kind of come together and talk about things and hash out ideas and share thoughts. And I like that idea. Hi, I'm Bill Brocktrop. I'm the artistic director of Antaeus Theatre Company. And we invite you to check out our website and everything going on at antaeus.org, and become a part of what we're doing. Thank you so much.